What's going on, LEGO Maniacs? It's Ty, the LEGO guy here, and welcome to another episode of Make It or Break It, a non-LEGO series. Today we're taking a look at Mega Construx, specifically the Halo theme. And the last time I've taken a look at Mega Bloks or Mega Construx was back when I was 4, so it's been years. So I'm really interested to see how they've kind of progressed, what their quality is like. This one should be interesting just to take a look at something that, it's been over 20 years. But enough talk, let's get right into it. And to start us off, we'll just actually take a look at the box art a little bit, some of the facts. So just so you guys know, this set retails for about 80 Canadian or 60 US, give or take. It's rated 10 and up. And it's considered a pro builder set, and it has 782 pieces. Now I did get this for $40, so I got it 50% off, which was quite nice. It also is a 2-in-1 model, so you can kind of make something else out of this, which is kind of cool. On the side of the box, it just shows some of the Halo characters, and then on the back, it gets a little bit more into the vehicles, along with some of the other ones. I'd actually like to get both these, the Banshee, and I believe that's a Warthog. And it gets into some of the weapons. This is something LEGO would never ever get into just because it is a little bit more violent than most LEGO sets. On the top of the box, it just again shows the minifigures, and then on the bottom, just the barcode and whatnot. Now, I will say the quality of this box does not feel like LEGO's, if that makes any sense. I believe LEGO uses a little bit higher quality cardboard. This isn't terrible, but just to give you an idea, there is no tape, nothing like that to hold this box together. You actually have to just, you can't, it's not easy to open up the box. You actually do need a knife. Oh, actually, okay, I take that back. It's not, the quality's not as good as LEGO's. So, we got the box open. Okay, they got numbered bags. That's at least good. Okay, very interesting looking manual. It almost reminds me of a comic book, which isn't bad. I appreciate other block companies when they do their own thing and they don't copy LEGO. The minifigures are very, very different. Anyways, what we're gonna do is we're gonna build this up and then, we'll review it. And again, just so you guys know, they do have numbered bags, which is quite nice. This is something that, I don't know if they stole this from LEGO, but it's a good idea regardless. Makes the building process a little bit easier. So I'm just starting to build up the models, and I just wanted to mention they have some very unique pieces. So here they have a 1x5 brick, and they also have this weird triangle brick. So they actually have a lot of unique, I guess, bricks to their company. Just something I wanted to show you guys. I thought that was actually quite interesting. And now that we have the set all built, we'll first take a look at the quad. And I really like the coloring to these Halo sets. That green just really makes it pop. It also has gunmetal, which is, just colors we don't see with LEGO. So I did appreciate that. I will say that about a quarter of their pieces as well are unique to Mega Construx. They don't really copy LEGO all that much. Their minifigures are also very different. And this also has pretty good drivability if you're a kid. The wheels actually even go up and down. So if you have like rough terrain or something and you're driving along as a kid, not that this is really made for kids, but regardless, if you are a kid and you own this, you'll have fun playing with it. Overall, pretty cool looking little quad. Give you guys a little bit closer look. Take the little marine off. Decent looking smaller build. Let's now move on to the meat of the set, which is the Covenant Cannon. And it's actually quite sizable. That's probably translating with the camera. This thing is about, it's nearly it's not quite a foot in height, but it's definitely a bit over a foot in width, from, one part of the leg to the other part of the leg. And if you use meters, it's about 1/3 of a meter in width and nearly about 1/4 of a meter in height. What I love about this is just the first area that we'll take a look at is you can actually raise and lower the cannon. You can move it all around. It also has spring-loaded shooters basically, so we'll just shoot those off like so, and they actually work really well. They work as well as LEGO spring-loaded shooters, I'd say. The other thing that's interesting about it too is it has this feature, if you want to make it look like it's blowing apart, where you just press this. Okay, that was anticlimactic. Okay, there you go. It kind of shoots off, which is quite nice. I also like the fact that it has a little Covenant symbol right here. Now, what is great about Mega Construx is there's absolutely no stickers. Now, I will say there's not many printed pieces, that being said. However, when they do give you a printed piece, it is not a sticker, it's a printed piece, which is great, a printing I should say. Overall, this is definitely a decent set. I will say that if you've played any of the games though, this is not so recognizable. Maybe the quad, but not so much this main cannon, although it is pretty cool. I will say I absolutely love the translucent red. I'd love to actually light this up. I think that it would look very cool. And I could imagine myself, sticking this on a shelf and having it on display. Overall, decent model. We haven't quite answered the question whether this is worth it, whether it doesn't make it or break it. But what we're gonna actually do now is take a look at the very different minifigures. And we'll start off with taking a look at a couple of the Covenant aliens. So on the right, we have a Grunt, and on the left, we have Hyperius. I will say that these are basically like mini action figures. I mean, the detail is incredible. I don't actually mind these minifigures all that much. I do prefer Legos. However, I will say that if you're looking for detail and basically minifigures, get these guys. I just prefer minifigures over these, but again, it's really what you want. I also love the detail with their weapons, and you can actually move their arms like so. This is what I mean. These guys are basically mini little action figures. You can't really take them apart. There's no such thing as like back face printing, any of that. These are basically just all custom molds, and I don't mind it. It is very different, but again, it's just basically your preference. Let's now take a look at the good guys of the set. And here we have the Master Chief and just the basic Marine. Now, one of the few things that bothers me about these minifigures is the Master Chief is actually very tall. He should definitely be much taller than the Marine. However, the Marine is actually a bit taller than the Master Chief. So it's not the end of the world. It kind of irked me because I'm like, that's not realistic. The Marine should definitely be shorter. However, again, the amount of detail you're seeing with these guys is incredible. They're basically action figures in Lego-like block sets. If we're just being perfectly honest, the amount of detail on the weapons is also incredible. And you can even move these guys side to side. You can tilt their legs. They're actually quite a bit bigger than a minifigure. They're probably about a third taller. So, with that extra height, you can definitely make them a little bit more flexible, a little bit more detailed. And again, it's basically a preference if you prefer Lego minifigures or these guys. I prefer minifigs. If I want to get action figures, I will buy action figures. However, if you're wanting a hybrid between a Lego minifigure and, one of these guys, or an action figure, I should say, go with these guys. You'll be very pleased. Let's now get into the end of the review and get my final thoughts. And now we've come to the question of whether it makes it or it breaks it. I will say that I was actually very impressed with the overall quality of the product, the differences in pieces, colors that they use, the minifigures. This is not a copy of Lego. They are their own unique thing. They've been around for decades. This isn't like Lepin or Bella or any of that nonsense. It's a decent brand. However, what I have to say about this is the quality of the pieces isn't quite up to par with Lego. Now, I know we talked about the cardboard box, and yes, it's not quite as good as Lego, but that's not why you're buying a set because of the cardboard box. You're buying it because of the bricks. And the brick quality isn't quite at Lego's. It's close, but again, sometimes the pieces were just really difficult to stick on, which kind of reminded me of Lepin or Bella. For the most part, however, they actually click together pretty easily. What I would recommend with Mega Construx, Mega Bloks, is I think that their product is a little bit overpriced. For 80 Canadian or 60 US, you could buy a Lego set that's comparable in size. I think that this should be a little bit cheaper. I think more so along the lines of maybe, I don't know, 65 Canadian, 45 to 50 US, I think would be more fair. So my big issue with this basically product is the price. I don't think it is quite at LEGO's quality level, although it is close. And because of that, I think that it should be cheaper. But regardless, it does make it. I'm not going to destroy this product. They actually did a decent job making this model. And I paid only 40 Canadian for it, so I actually think it's worth that all day long. But yeah, that pretty well does the review. I haven't taken a look at a Mega Construx set in years, but let me know what your thoughts are on this guy. If you like it, if you don't, any areas you think they could maybe improve on it. If you like Mega Construx, if you don't, let me know what your opinions are in the comments. Always anxious to hear your guys' thoughts. But yeah, that pretty well does it. But if you liked the video, leave it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing and click that bell so you're notified for any future non-LEGO series episodes where we take a look at other brick products, which are not a copy of LEGO, they're just another brick company. But yeah, that pretty well does the video again. But thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.